Hey viewers, Zero Gear Plus here on November, I believe it is the 15th. 41 degrees outside with a 31 wind chill. Perfect temperature to be showing you guys how to fight with this. We're back to the basics of Celtic sword fighting. This was the average, if not just a little bit below, average temperature all the time. Because, they were, high Scotland area, Highland, high altitude, England for that matter. They're essentially the same latitude as Maine and New York State. So, about this time of year, they'd be getting some pretty nasty weather, which is surprisingly nice outside. So, that's why I'm going to show you guys this today. So, your basic moves, let me fix the camera a little bit so I can back up. Oop, nope, that's up. Okay, you may be wondering, that's going to have to go down farther on it. Let's try about here. Now, as I back up, you guys will be able to see, oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so the basic movements of the Celtic Broadsword, as I told you guys already, where you aim for the neck, which is the jugular or the carotid, and they bleed out, they're dead, you're done with them. Or, you get behind their knees and you trip them with the weight of this thing, because all the weight's up here, it's not down here, because of the way that the blade shapes into a leaf. So you get all that momentum and you swing it behind their knees and it just brings them right up and lands them on their back. If not, you cut their legs off. This thing is just that nasty. Anyway, if that doesn't kill, well, that probably won't kill them, but if they're on the ground and you slice through their tendons, they can't get back up. But if they're not dead, they can still be a problem. So you stab them right through the neck or right into the heart while they're on the ground. Because you don't want them to be at your feet while you're trying to fight other people. That would be annoying. Now, if you're fighting, I don't want to say a professional because there wasn't much time for these guys to become professional. If they experienced three wars in their lifetime, they'd probably be dead by the second or third, because they were very gung-ho about their fighting. That can be a good thing and a bad thing. Yes, they were very, very zealous. They pushed back a lot of their opposers, but at the same time, that overzealousness kind of clouded their thinking. Call it like a blind fury, if you will. Kind of making their swings misses and inaccurate and stuff like that. But if you were a professional, now I'm going to show you guys the way that they would have fought. If you were fighting a professional, this would be your stance. You'd want to have the blade in front of you just a little bit, but you'd want, okay, so I'm right-handed, so I'm going to want my right leg behind me, so that you can just get in there with a whole bunch of momentum. Just like swing your leg out and just come out swinging. So what you're going to want to do here is if they attacked you with a vertical like this, as I've showed you guys before, but only this time I'm going to get into the basic movements. You're going to step forward, kind of like the pivot move. If you take karate or judo, I'm pretty sure they're going to show you the pivot technique. Stepping method, as they call it in judo, I believe. You're going to use your left foot as a pivot. You're going to put all your weight on that foot. That way your right foot is very, very light. So you just swing it around like this. It's kind of like what you do in basketball. Kind of like that. So you're going to swing your dominant foot, I'll call it, forward, block, and then you're going to tilt the sword down so that their blade goes down like this. Because all the momentum wants to go down. So if you give that momentum somewhere to go, it's going to go. So then, once their blade goes down, you bring yours up, right across their face or up against their neck, and they're probably gone. Okay, what if they come at you with horizontal attacks? Horizontal attacks are essentially the same thing. You're gonna, if they're coming towards your dominant side, you're gonna want to block like this. You're not gonna swing your foot forward. You're gonna block, and then bring it up, and then you're gonna get them with the hilt. You're gonna bring it into their solar plexus, and then onto their back. Don't worry about armor, because the Celts and Anglos and the Saxons, they didn't wear armor. They were very agile and nimble, so they didn't have any need for armor. They could just get out of the way really fast. So that technique will pretty much work for you. Now, if they attack you from the other side, you're going to swing your pivot foot forward, or your non-pivot foot forward. You're going to block. You're going to block, bring it over, and then bring it into them. You're going to spin with the sword. Their sword goes over because their sword's here, and now it's down there, and your sword's in them. Got it? So you're going to swing your non-pivot forward, block, spin, in. Just like that. Now if somebody attacks you with a thrust, because these swords were very good for thrusting as you can tell, you're going to block it like this. Just like imagine you're punching at somebody. You're gonna want the blade down, you're just going to block. Just block like that. Their blade's over here somewhere, and then you can bring it into their stomach, or if you have the time, up into their neck. Problem is, if you get them in the stomach, they're probably going to be able to retaliate coming back at you from over here, so you're going to want to block, then you're going to want to bring it into them to finish it off, just like that. But if you block, slash, and they're on the other side now, because they managed to like swing it back around and get you this way, because you expected to block over here, no matter, just block. Okay, so they're coming over to you like this, block, and then you're going to want to step back with your non-pivot foot. Your non-pivot foot, you're going to step back, swing back into them, and odds are the second one's going to be fatal. Because you're taking a step in, and you're getting them, you're probably doing this to them. So you're obviously taking out a couple ribs, perforating a lung. If not, you're going further in and hitting the spine. So. What else can I show you guys? How about some finishing moves? No, actually before that. Kicking. Other limbs were used often because they didn't carry shields. They were agile and nimble. They didn't need shields. They didn't need the block. They could just get out of the way. So what they actually carried was like a second weapon. It was called a Burma club. It's essentially with a stick with not cast iron, but iron rings around it to be deadly and lethal. So you can cave and bash somebody's head in with it. You can break limbs, kneecap people, get them in the elbow, get them in the shoulder, the chest, anywhere. And it was just a nasty thing. So honestly, you'd have the Burma, or you'd have nothing in this hand. As far as I can tell, they would not have had a second broadsword here. I mean, unless they were ambidextrous, they could have, but I don't think many of them would have been, because 90% of the world population is, 85% of the world population is right-handed, and the other 15 is left. And then there's, actually that's not true, but then there's like this really small 0.0000% of a fraction that's ambidextrous, which means you can use both hands. But honestly, so this hand would probably have nothing in it if you were right-handed. Or if you were left-handed, you'd have nothing in this hand. So, if you got in, say, a clinch with somebody, which is when your swords are stuck together, and you're trying to disarm the other guy, so you've probably brought your sword down on him like this, and he's blocking, and he wants to push you back, you're going to grab his wrist, and he's probably going to grab yours. So you've got his wrist, he's got yours, and you're kind of grappling a little bit. And it's really, at this point, it's a shift of power, because he's going to be pushing on you, and you're going to be pushing on him. This is really great for where your legs come in handy, because when you're in this, you're really trying to overpower the other guy. So what you're going to want to do here is if you're about midway, or if he's got you back even the slightest bit, and you're afraid that he's going to overpower you, kick. You're in the perfect spot for it. Just do it. You're back here, kick. Oh, he's down. You throw him, and even bring your sword down then on him. He's gone. Another thing, parrying. When you block attacks, like if somebody thrusted at you, block, kick, come back around, swing. Obviously, they could do it a lot faster than me, but you get my point. So, block, kick, turn around, swing back down on them. Punches. If you didn't block here when they retaliated, come back around, block, parry like that, or not, swing, and their sword would be out this way, and then you bring it back in on them like that. You could block like this, step in with your pivot foot. You could do like this little gallop thing. You could step in with your pivot foot and punch them. That's get them off balance. So then you could like either charge them or stab them. Anything really. Finishing moves. A lot of you guys may have played games like I don't know, like Street Fighter, or actually I don't know if Street Fighter has fatalities, but like Mortal Kombat and you have your fatality. Some of you may love this. The Celts specialized in decapitating. Yeah, I'm not kidding. What they do is if the main attack didn't kill you, and like say if they got you behind the knee or something, and there was very few of you left, and they had time for it, if they got you behind the knee and you were still alive, they'd grab you by the shoulder, pick you back up, you'd be on your knees here, and your head's gone. Or the other way, that's even scarier, because you can see the blade coming, you're there the whole time, just, ah, like that. So it's like, your head's gone. Yeah, it's scary, really. They also, what was the technique they used? Usually the last person that was fought, or like when the numbers were really lowering down and the Celts were winning, or the Anglos or the Saxons, whatever, or even if they were fighting each other, because they did that sometimes. Usually it was done to the nobles, like the generals, but what they do is they'd have this move called the Bloody Eagle. And some of you may know this. This is a fan of Viking. This is a Viking favorite technique. It wasn't done with the broadsword, but it could have been. All you need is a sharp blade. They'd get you, they'd tackle you, they'd pin you on the ground, you'd take a blade and you'd stab into the back at an angle like this, and then you just rip it back, opening there right where the spine is. Just like an eye incision, and just pull it. Well, not like an eye incision, it's actually just a straight vertical line, and you just reach your hands in there, you break away the ribs, and you pull their lungs out through that incision. And the lungs, being red, they look on your back, that they look like bloody wings, so it's called the Bloody Eagle. So, kind of graphic, I know. This has probably been the most informative sword display, sword demos, videos that I've ever showed you guys, because I know everything about this sword. I know everything about the culture, the heritage, how they fought, what they lived like, how they behaved, how they harbored animosity towards each other, how they were clannish, warrish tribes. I love medieval English culture, and even post-medieval English culture, like the Scots and the English, the Irish, Welsh I don't talk too much about, but they're pretty much the same. But I am mostly a fan of Scots. And you guys know why. You've seen stuff that I put on here before. So, this is Zero Gear Plus signing off with this new favorite toy. Not toy, actually. This thing is real. I've told you guys before. Made for reenactment, so this is the real deal. It's just not sharp. So, I'll see you guys next time. I may have to come up with a new idea. I probably won't be doing swords much anymore. I'm looking into pole weapons and axes. Like spears and pole axes and pole arms of all sorts. Bow staves. I'm looking into doing claws, which are nasty. If you guys have seen how the Shaolin monks would fight with claws, oh my god. So, yeah. I'll see you guys whenever I'm doing one of those. So until then, Zero Gear Plus signing off. Have a good day!